We started talking about Gabor Mate, and that's where we're starting today. And what I was talking about, and John, was his Rio speech and a bunch of other things too. He's got a whole book, which I have behind me, called In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts, where he talks about addiction coming from or stemming from childhood trauma. And his tagline, as I mentioned, is not why the addiction, but why the pain. And the hungry ghosts that he talks about in his book are these kind of departed who have these great big empty bellies and a very tiny throat, tiny hands, and they're trying to feed this emptiness. And I never see in his book the line, why the emptiness? So that's what we're going to talk about. Also, I'm also going to bring up that in the 12-step rooms, there's a saying, and I think it may be in the book, the A Big Book, that, we're trying to fill a God-sized hole. So it's all this talk about filling an emptiness. It's in there too, and that goes for any addiction you can imagine. I don't care what it is, whether it's shopping or gambling or drugs or alcohol or another person, whatever that happens to be. It's always this emptiness we're trying to fill with outside sources. And that is something that I didn't see addressed necessarily in that book. I'm completely wrong, but I did read it. And may have missed that part. No. But so that's where I'm kicking off today. And anybody just jump in and let's just do it, man.
Jump in with something. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about the question, why the emptiness, but also that kind of brings me to, I haven't read Gabor Mate's The Realm of Hungry Ghosts, but the subjects that you bring up, like why the emptiness, and especially in the 12-step rooms, the saying about filling a godlike hole, I feel like emptiness and the hole are, and like the abyss, or I don't know, it's different than a spiral for me, but those automatically I kind of think of that feeling in my stomach that like I don't really know how to place. For me, it's like it can either like a hole can be a bunch of different things, or like quote unquote a hole, or like a downward spiral, or a depression, like a depressive episode, or whatever you want to call it. It could be many different terms in the medical community, but yeah, I like to call it a hole usually, or like an abyss or a vortex. And I think for me, it goes back to the feeling of this feeling that I just get in my throat and in my stomach that I don't know how to place. I don't necessarily know where it's coming from, but sometimes it starts to happen. Like I feel it at night sometimes, like I don't know, I just kind of automatically get this overall depressed feeling at night, which I've been trying to overcome. But also it happens like before I start a project sometimes. Like I think it's a sense of like overwhelming fear that I can't really place. And sometimes I can manifest in physical forms. Acid reflux, maybe that's what I'm feeling in my stomach and in my throat. But I guess what I'm trying to get at here is that for me, it can like the hole or the emptiness can sometimes be that feeling inside of me, but it can also just be my actual environment and what I'm actually experiencing, if it's a short amount of time or a long period of time. So a longer period of time for me would be like going back to when I was in active addiction. I think I would definitely isolate. I would stay up in my room, sleep a lot. My room was a mess. I wouldn't reach out to a lot of friends. And if I did, then it was usually to do drugs. And I was kind of filling this hole or void that I felt mentally. I kept trying to fill it up with a substance, but the substance kept making it deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's like if you think of the hole as like an actual hole in the ground and then you try to fix it by throwing bombs in it. I guess that's kind of a good metaphor for drug use and trying to fill the hole. Like, yes, it might give you that. For me, it gave me a feeling of false belonging, like and I'm mentioning using usually Oxycontin or Percocet was my main drug of choice, but it started recreationally, so I would go to parties, didn't really like drinking, and someone I knew was selling, and I would just get a bunch of oxys from them, and I would do these oxys recreationally at parties because it helped me socially. When everyone around, like it was sometime after high school for me, everyone at those parties would be drinking and having fun, and I would be like, I'm not having very much fun here. So I would use, and that would fill that type of hole, like something that is missing from me that I felt other people had. And then it went on to be more of a whole, as in like, okay, it went from recreational use to everyday use because it just got to the point where I liked the feeling. I liked that feeling of false belonging and false confidence that it gave me. I mean, I was always a really quiet person, and I I always have kind of dealt with, in middle school, I was diagnosed with OCD, and I've always been in my head a lot. So the drugs always just kind of, well, they definitely made me feel like more like I fit in more, like I could be happy in this world, like I was perceiving other people, like I didn't feel like I was enough. And that is another kind of emptiness inside, like not feeling like you're enough. And then I'm just trying to summarize a bit here, like it'll lead to the bigger hole, which is going through withdrawals and not even being able to fucking function without drugs or the drug of your choice. I mean, that was a big hole for me. And then I think once I started Suboxone, and even when you're maybe in a treatment program, I mean, I wasn't in a treatment program per se at first, but I got prescribed Suboxone, and I was abusing it. I didn't have a program. I didn't go to group. So that was also its own kind of abyss in itself, like just a never ending cycle and feeling stuck, like you're stuck in a hole. But I think now how it manifests with me being in recovery, I mean, I get the Sublocade shot. I feel a lot fucking better than I did even a year ago when I was in recovery on Suboxone, not abusing it. So I just, I don't know. I feel like it today. Yes, I do feel sometimes that like stomach feeling, like the whole feeling in my stomach. Like, I don't know how to place this feeling. It kind of scares me. Like that anxiety that I don't know where it's coming from, the physical anxiety. And sometimes I get in these little holes I when I don't feel like I'm pushing myself hard enough. For example, I'm unemployed, so I bring up how, I don't feel like I'm pushing myself creatively or doing enough things with my time, and then I can get kind of stuck in this headspace and like sleep for just like take naps for a few days and then be hard on myself that I didn't do anything. So again, these this emptiness can manifest in many different ways. I'm gonna stop talking now because that was long, but yeah, someone else can interject.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know. I always felt growing up this. I don't know if it was like I just didn't fit in. I just didn't feel right. I don't know. Like I felt like there was this pressure or maybe some preconceived notions that I needed to fit some type of mold that I couldn't fit. For instance, like, oh, get good grades in school, go to high school, then go to college and get a job, like this. It felt like this very structured type of, I guess, progression. And I couldn't, I mean, I probably could have done it, but mentally, I was not there. I was just depressed. Similar to you, Audrey, when I went to parties, I didn't enjoy myself. I felt like the odd person out. And when I was 18, I started using after I got arrested for possession of marijuana with intent to sell. And I mean, that really snowballed me into using Percocets, then Oxys, and then shortly afterwards, I graduated to heroin. And then, I didn't necessarily have a program either, but I was prescribed Suboxone, and I was definitely not taking it the way I should have been. And I don't know, I used to escape myself and I guess the reality of what society was or what I envisioned it as at that time in my life. And maybe it was just, I don't know, maybe a lack of maturity or I don't know, but I know I was super depressed. I had OCD problems, very anxious. I tried to socialize. I had an identical twin brother, so we kind of shared friends, but I always felt like I didn't fit in, and I got picked on in college by my roommate and his friends, and I ended up dropping out, and that subsequently led me to smoking weed, selling weed, and I eventually got arrested for it. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like I fit into society. And I don't know, like now it's different for me. You know, now I have a clear head and conscious, and just being honest with myself, and feel a lot better in my own skin. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I think that it's hard. It was hard for me growing up. My parents knew that they had 4 kids. I was one of them. That there was something not right with me, and they took me very early to a. I remember I was 14 years old. They didn't even know where to take me at the time, so they took me to like some pediatric person. He said, "You need to go see a psychiatrist or psychologist and talk about your depression or whatever." And so that's what I did, and I felt like I was getting like, I don't know, I felt like it was like some stigma was placed on me, like it was like it was bad that I had to go do that, right? Like, oh, John needs help from a shrink or whatever they called it at the time. And I don't know, it really hit me in a weird way, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to escape from it, and then I ended up just using. I ended up using to the point where I almost lost my life. So it's hard. I think purpose now for me like is essential. Having a sense of purpose, sense of community, sense of honesty, and just overall well-being, and making sure that I'm being true to myself. Like I kind of stopped paying mind to what people thought about me or how I should have fit into society. And you know what? I think I'm better off for it, to be honest. Like, I feel like, the choices I made, and I'm here now, and making the best choices I can make given my circumstances. And, I'm a strong believer in karma. If, I try to be a good person and take care of myself and my family, and however I can help the community in any way I can, that is fulfilling, and it does give me a sense of purpose, and it helps a lot to be part of a sober network or community, if you will. And yeah, I mean, it's a game changer. I mean, I tried getting sober. I can't even tell you how many times, but the missing element for me was community. Like, and not to say that I needed to feel like accepted in a sense, but it is nice. It is nice to feel accepted. I will say that. So I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. I mean, yeah, I'm sure I have. Yeah, or when I was at active use, like I was trying to fill some void, and maybe that was just escapism, escaping whatever pain I was in, or depression, or whatever mental health issues I was going through at the time, instead of addressing them as I should have. But you live, you learn. That's my take.
Yes, we do. You brought up something else too, actually. Or you both did. That uncomfortability. It's really funny in the well, it's not that funny, but in the rooms, often you hear people say the same line. I hear it all the time. It's, I could have used a drink in kindergarten, because they felt that uncomfortability even at 4 or 5 years old, that they didn't fit in somehow. I don't know where that comes from. I mean, I don't know what that is. If that's early attachment styles or what. There's all kinds of psychobabble to address that, but I'm not sure that it always fits. I really am not sure. And that I think we can all probably relate to that. That feeling of I didn't get the handbook. Everybody else got it, and somehow it passed me by because I didn't know how to work. I don't know how this world works. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to interact with people. I don't know how to have relationships.
I said yes, I was like a very quiet child, and that lasted up until like that was like very early childhood. And then it was weird in middle school. I kind of like became this punk and like had had a lot of friends, but had a lot of friends, middle school, high school, even through college, but I still felt very alone. Like, again, like what John said, I feel like I didn't want to accept community. I kind of put myself into the hole a bit and didn't want to accept help or community or any of those things. So just wanted to make a note of that like I wasn't necessarily like super quiet all the time. Actually, I think in like high school I was a bit of a bully sometimes, and because I straight up hated myself. So
I mean, those are all sound like ways of coping with, not really knowing how to relate to people, right? You can act out, you can bully people, you can do all kinds of different things. It's just none of it brings that closeness probably that we're missing, right? I mean, it's
yeah.
engagement, it's interacting with other people, it's maybe even being part of a group, but still not really belonging, like you say, still feeling a little bit on the outside.
hmm
I think that makes a lot of sense. Haven't heard from you, Frankie. What do you think?
You know, I don't know. For me, when I started using, I was definitely, I was filling a gap for something. But and I haven't figured that out yet. I think I need a couple more years of therapy before I put my finger on what it was. But I'll tell you that towards the end, I I just wanted to I just wanted to numb myself. I mean, I'm a very codependent person, so maybe I was filling the void for something missing. But when when I started to become able to be in relationships, then I brought my drug use with me. And instead of, I guess, filling that void, which I was thinking that I was then, I couldn't fill the void because it was already, being used by my active addiction. So in turn, I would ruin these relationships. I mean, I guess I started out of stupidity and curiosity. And I don't know. I mean, I always felt unfulfilled, and I made a lot of bad choices in order to fill my gaps. Um, I will say that now that I know what real love feels like, and now that I know what it is like to be loved, and now that I know that I never thought that I could live the life that I live now. I never in a million years thought I would be able to live the life that I'm living now. And, I might have been coping because I never thought that was possible. But now that I am living that life, you know, using isn't even a thought in my mind. I mean, I'm so happy in my body now, and I'm so happy with my future now that I don't even think about using. It's wild. It's wild to think that 10 years ago, all I can think about was how even when I had a fistful of drugs, where I was going to get it tomorrow is the only thing I can think about. And, other things would come into my mind. Yeah, I got to eat, right? I probably have to eventually pay that bill, or that's going to get shut off. But I don't even think about these things anymore. I guess, because I found some satisfaction in my life, in my future, and being happy. It's wild. It's wild because I still feel that I have a lot of chapters and a lot more story to write in my book, but I don't think any of it has to do with drugs.
Well, you used three magic words. I don't know, when you were talking about this boy, that you may not ever know what it is. And you know what? Me neither.
I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't care, to be honest with you. The why doesn't matter so much to me anymore.
Yeah.
Why it started, where it came from, what the root of all of this is. And there are so many theories out there, it would make your head spin. And, they're all right and they're all wrong, right? Everybody's right, everybody's wrong. And who's to say? And why does it matter so much? I mean, that's what's really interesting. If we thought that if we found that out, we could stop it, like turn the gene off,
Right.
that says you're going to be an addict. Okay, I'll buy that. But there's also an argument that there is no gene for that, like there are for other things, and that's another Mate thing. He doesn't buy into the genetic part of it at all, actually, which I'm a little bit surprised at. I think there may be some evidence somewhere. I don't know. I'd have to
I
research.
don't know, because if it was about genetics, it would make a lot of sense.
For a lot of us, it would. Yeah, for a lot of us, it
You
would.
guys, but for me, it would make a ton of sense if it was genetic. Like it just
Yeah,
makes
same.
I
I think it's all variables, honestly. Like, it could be, for me, I mean, I think it could be partly trauma based. It could be partly genetic based. I mean, my family has a lineage of addicts, and could be self-induced parts of it, and environment based. But there are addicts all around the world. Like, there's so many variables. So I think it's valid to take things like trauma into consideration, especially if you're trying to realize your personal triggers and work through them, or trying to face the world after having certain types of trauma is hard. So I think it's valuable to look into that. But the main thing is to be able to move forward eventually, and not to place, like Chris always says, not to place blame. Like, we're not looking for these reasons for why we are the way that we are to place blame. I think for me, I tend to look into the past for like reasonings for why I used, or maybe why I'm feeling like sort of anxious or depressed a certain day. Like, I think, yes, looking for reasons can sometimes turn into negative rumination, and also the blame game. Like, oh, I'll blame it on this. So this is the main issue, which isn't necessarily helpful. But you have to go somewhere between blaming and rumination and looking back at your past to use it to move forward, I think, which is hard.
I agree.
both sets of my grandparents immigrated here from Italy, and that was in the 50s. And I'm a second generation, American Italian, and I can't find anybody that I could trace back in my family who had an addiction problem. Even more interesting is I have an identical twin brother, and we were raised both the same way and same upbringing and kind of had the same group of friends. Yet he doesn't have an addiction problem. I do. So I don't know. Is it genetic or nature versus nurture? Or I don't know. But I one thing I do know is that I did try to like fit in, and I just couldn't, and like that bothered the heck out of me. Like I could never keep up, or when I do reflect on my past, it could come from a lot of things where I lost one of my grandfathers when I was 13, and like super close with him, and he was one of the only people in my family that gave me really nice validation and looked to me as a source of I don't know, reliance, or just hey, call John to help with this or whatever. And that was nice, and then I lost him, and I didn't know how to deal with that, and I think it manifested into depression and into making the bad. I don't know. I just looked at the world in a completely different way after. I don't everything that I've got in my life, I've earned and lost and got it back, but I don't think it comes down to like for me at least materialistic things. It's not to say I had like a negligent upbringing. I mean, it was okay, but we weren't well off or anything. But we got by. But I don't know. It's just it does boggle my mind a bit that we can be identical twins. I can have an addiction, but he can't, and sometimes it does bother me, a little bit. It's just like, dang, did I get the short end of the stick? But then I'm like, you know what? I actually got a lot from all the challenges that I've been through in life. So like, I kind of like look at it from different perspectives, and ground myself and say, you know, I'm grateful for what Frankie was saying. Like 4 or 5 years ago, I would have never in a million years would have thought I would be in the position I am today. Not having a thought, like I'm back in the town that I grew up in and used in the city I used in. Like it doesn't even cross my mind. You know, I have so much I have so much in my life that makes me happy, and I don't know. I don't want to lose it or my life to drugs. I mean, especially the drugs that are out today. I mean, they're completely different from when we were in active use. And that's even scarier. I mean, that's an even scarier notion to me. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say where addiction comes from and how it manifests, and or at least for me, I don't. I just look at it as it's something that I have. I have to deal with it, and that's life. You know.
The way to look at it. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's a nature versus nurture thing. It's a nature in conjunction with nurture, and it's everything and nothing, right? Like I said, it could be, who knows, a lot of could be's. And yeah, I feel the same way. You know, I like living in the here and now, and what you were talking about before, John, with having purpose. I mean, that's a huge part of recovery. Is the existential part of it is when I don't know anyone who's come into recovery with purpose. You know, we come in floundering. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what life is about. I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I have no meaning. There's no meaning to my life, right? And that's something we seek in recovery. And that is absolutely, I think, a critical component. You know, that's a daily practice, you know, trying to sort that one out, because it's different for everybody's unique, different for all of us, you know, meaning, and it's not this big thing, because I know when I talk about purpose with people, they think they have to change the world. And I'm like, no, it can be the tiniest thing in your life that gives you purpose. You know, it could be, you know, keeping the plant alive in your corner that you like so much. You know, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be this huge sweeping thing. Meaning is the same. We can find meaning in the everyday, you know, in our relationships,
Sorry.
and you know, in what we see and do every day. That's where the meaning comes from. And if you want to look into that, check out Viktor Frankl, you know, who wrote about his time in concentration camps during the Holocaust. And he found meaning and purpose, and he was able to maintain that with all that was going on. He's a fascinating guy. You definitely need to check him out. He wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, I believe, is the name of it. It's a pretty incredible story. So something to check out. He was a psychologist before he went into the camps, and then wrote afterwards.
You know, one thing I'll say is interesting to me, at least, is like when I was in active addiction, I didn't care about myself or life or anything, and anything really. But now that I'm in recovery and sober, and you know, I have a great sober network and make sure I'm doing everything I need to do to maintain my sobriety. I look at life completely differently now. It's like completely night and day. And I didn't, yeah, I did flounder when I first actually said I need help, right? Like, I think the point I'm trying to make is, like, I've discovered that I cannot get through life alone, and having people in life that I can rely on and trust and love and reciprocate that love. I mean, you know, I think that does inspire some purpose, and for me at least. And you know, I think when I had that near death experience, and I heard that outwardly voice say, "Now's not your time. Your purpose hasn't been fulfilled." I didn't know what that meant, but as I continue my journey in sobriety, you know, maybe I'm discovering that. You know, it's maybe that's coming on these podcasts and talking about what I've been through and partaking in life, my life, and sobriety, and just being honest with myself and trying to feel comfortable within my skin. And I mean, it's a daily battle, but it gets easier over time. I mean, the more good people I surround myself with, the better I feel. So I mean, it takes a lot of work, and especially trying to deal with PTSD and depression and anxiety and OCD, and I mean all these mental health issues that I have to continue to work on. It's not like they go away, like addiction, right? Like they're still there, and I still have to continue to work on them and develop and grow. And I just feel like life is a journey. It's an experience. I feel like I have a finite amount of time on this planet, and I can look back on the past, and sure, sometimes it can make me cringe and have a lot of regret and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's about how I feel today and where I want to take my life. Because, like, I guess my point is, like, I've manifested what I want to be today. And I have had a lot of help getting to this place, but what I had in my head, I wanted to make for myself, right? Like finding love and a partner in life, and I don't know, just feeling like I'm being a good contributing part of society, whether that's with my family or in this group or wherever it is. Just knowing that I'm doing the best I can on a daily basis, that to me is enough purpose for me to continue to move forward with life.
You are successful at life, my friend.
Yeah, I feel like
that is life success, man. That is purpose. You nailed it. That is, you are good at life. Think about how bad we were at playing the game of life 10 years ago, right? We were terrible at playing the game of life. Every time we spinned, we took the wrong path. We rolled the dice. We picked up a card. We decided to take them. We never made good choices. Look at what happens when you make good choices. You are successful at life. Like, it is amazing when you tell your story and you hear some of the things that you say. And it's fucking magic, man. So poignant. And then to see where you are today is proof in the pudding that this works. And if you work at sobriety and you find yourself a sober network and you put yourself in the right environment and you surround yourself with the right people, it's gonna work out. And, not saying that all the challenges of being a human being aren't there, but they are much easier to handle when substances are not involved. And you, my friend, are a perfect example of the process working. Good for you.
Hey, it's you,
Yeah.
Frankie.
I feel like,
Perfect
John,
to
a lot of what you said is like made me think a lot about how, you said that trying to find purpose, you among all of us have had to do so much work but like, I think we live in just a society that defines purpose and value as like money and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and working as hard as you fucking can until you die and like all this shit in like, especially in like a super capitalistic society. Won't go too much into that, but I just feel like it's true that you can't go through life alone in this society, in this world that we live in. Society has been built for people to fail in a way. Like, it's getting harder and harder to just like even bear what is happening around the world in terms of news or the fentanyl crisis, just everything. Like, yeah, I know that there are people that say the world was much worse in this place or in this place, but like, honestly, there's always going to be, or in this time or back in these days, like there's always going to be challenges in this world when human beings there's evil in the world, and not a huge amount of empathy is or community is focused on. Like, I know that there are places that are like that in the world, but again, like, there is a giant lack of community in the society that we live in, and it's a lot of fucking work to hear everything you've been through again, and what all of us have been through. Like, it's just a lot of fucking work to sorry if this gets forgot I couldn't curse. But
Who said
real.
who said you can't curse?
It's
oh,
real.
okay, I
said
thought
that?
was
Who said
I
that?
thought that was a thing at some point.
Not the first 5
but-
minutes.
Right.
Yeah, right.
First
Okay,
5
cool.
minutes.
Amazing. Yeah, it's just the society that we live in is not built on community and empathy. It's just not. So we have to fight for that every single day, and like be grateful and wiggle our way into this, sometimes it feels like you're fighting to get into this community, because like these support networks, because it's like highly stigmatized. It might be hard for people to even have insurance to get into these programs. I know AA is free, but that doesn't work for everyone, and I don't know. There's a lot of factors that contribute to just even mentally not wanting to start a sober network or start going to meetings, or it's just hard to fight your way out of feeling like you're not enough in a society that just pushes productivity, like external productivity, if that makes sense. And I feel personally that like I am very privileged to be in the position that I am. Like I have a home. I'm not struggling really to pay for my health insurance or healthcare, and there are still people that, there's always going to be people struggling. So like, I don't know, it's just the society kind of fails a little bit.
The way I looked at society, it was very selfish, like very like narcissistic, self-indulged. Like, I need to just worry about myself, forget everybody else. Like, and it's very alienating and divisive, and yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people in this world that, may have worked hard or may have not to get where they've gotten, and maybe well off, very well off, more so than other people. And yeah, there's a lot of homeless people out there that need help, a lot of people struggling with addiction, and I don't know, I feel like we could be doing a better job at helping those people, well, I don't know how, maybe they could take our tax dollars and do something with it. I don't know.
It takes one person to help one other person. That's all it takes. And that's how all of this gets started. I'm going to take this opportunity to swear continuously for the next 5 minutes, in case anyone's interested.
All right,
No,
bring it
I'm
on.
kidding. I think that, that's part of it, is it? And that's the community part. And that's where, what Audrey was saying about the fear of, joining these things. There's a tribe for everybody out there. Yeah, AA is great. It's a good program, but there's a million others too. And you can, whatever you find that works for you is what's important. Some people go do the church. Some people use the church or synagogue or whatever religion they have part of. Sometimes faith is a great way to go. But there's a million A's too. AA, NA, GA, DA, OA, CODA. I'm not going to name them all, but there's a bazillion of them. And I was looking up something the other day that was moderation, which I'm going to look at just because I want to know what those folks are doing. But there's all kinds of tribes out there. You just have to find the one that works. The important thing is finding it. The important thing is looking for it, seeking it out, becoming part of, like I always say, becoming part of instead of apart from. And that's what's going to keep us all alive, actually. It's just, that participation in community, whether it's a leadership role or being in the cheap seats, it doesn't make any difference. Showing up for the others, being there, being part of is what really matters. And I think that's another key component of recovery. The meaning, the purpose, being part of community. These are huge when you get into recovery. They're just huge. I wish somebody had told me that. I mean, I kind of fumbled my way in too. I had no idea. I went to AA because it was all I knew. It was all I knew was out there. So I'm like, all right, I'll go there because otherwise I got nothing left. The last house on the block, as they say. And so I walked into a meeting. I'm glad I did. I mean, I knew it was there, but I didn't know there were options. I had no idea that there were so many choices. But I was afraid of the stigma too. Walking in a room that has the house had a little blue and white sign hanging out. Oh, somebody's going to see me. Like, so what? Now I'm proud to walk in the door. Let's go. Let them see me. You should come too. Come on, come. I'll show you how great this is. Come on in. So, our attitudes change over time, but it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying becoming part of this community. It really is.
Yeah, even if you're not afraid of someone seeing you, just like part of it was like me seeing me, like how like I almost like I don't know, I found embarrassment in like seeking help and seeking community and seeking like yes, I had valuable friendships in active addiction, but that I'm still friends with people that I was friends with in active addiction, but I'm trying to say that like it's really for me it was like within me to give up that act that I was putting on, that like everything is fine, everything is gonna be fine, even though deep down I was scared shitless that like and I knew I needed help. I just kept shoving that down and down and down. And so yeah, I guess once I kind of like talked to my parents and told them that I had a problem, they were a giant help, and my sister was a big help. But I guess, yeah, it's for me, it was like less about the embarrassment of other people seeing me, and there is a giant stigma against addiction. I guess at times I was really afraid that my friends would like I didn't tell my friends anything. They had no idea for like months that I went on Suboxone and I was severely addicted to painkillers. And yeah, then I ended up telling them and they were like, where were you? But it's a lot of work to get out of the hole or the emptiness, right?
It is. It really is. And you're right too about, the shame of walking in the door of one of these places or getting into recovery and feeling like, my life is over. What have I done? Right? What have I done? And the truth is we haven't done anything. We're who we are. That's all there is to it. We're not bad people. We haven't done anything wrong. We haven't done anything terrible, although there are people active who have done terrible things, but we're not, people here are not of that, ilk. So yeah, and I'll tell you that shame doesn't go away too easily either. I still wake up in the morning and get that wash, and it's like a warmth that comes over me. The other day I was describing it as dirty motor oil. It feels like that's just like dripping over me, here it comes again. It doesn't really, I mean, it definitely, the moments get farther and farther apart. They don't come on nearly as often as they used to. And it's with the work too. I mean, we got to keep putting in the work, right? All the time. There's no finish line for that either. As soon as we stop, then we risk going right back to it. All right. So we got to keep this going. And I love what you guys have been saying today. It's amazing. What an amazing conversation. You're all pretty incredible, I gotta say. I mean, really. Inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, I think that back to what. Thank you, Frankie and Audrey and everybody here for saying such kind words about where I am now in life. I just feel like if I can get through all that, if you put your mind to it and accept the help, find it, accept it, and just roll with it, you can get to the other side too. Well, it's possible. It's definitely possible. And it's a lot brighter on the other side. Let me tell you. It's a lot brighter and a lot happier. I mean, there's definitely stressful, hard times that I have to navigate still, but shoot, I'll take these way over what I was going through previously any day. That's for sure.
Frankie, you're muted. You're muted, man.
Much easier to sleep. It really is. It's much easier to sleep without the fears that come with active addiction. Much easier to close your eyes and without the worry of the next day. It makes life feel so simple.
Yeah, seriously.
It
So
makes
much
life feel
easier.
so simple.
It's like I think everybody probably has said the same thing. That the first part, just reaching your hand out and saying, "I need help." It's the hardest part, but it's the most important part, of course, because that's when, you know, that's when the community is going to say, "Sure, come on and join us." You know, we're there. Come and join. And we're always here waiting, right? We're here waiting for anybody who wants to come in and join us. We're here. You know, anybody who's out there in the world who is on the fence, you know, it's worth a shot. It's worth trying, right? No, I'm not going to say that everybody who reaches out for help is going to be a miracle, right? It's not going to happen. And we can all attest to that. You know, relapse is a big part of recovery, right? It's part of the process. And I don't want anyone to think that if they have a bad day, that it means that they failed, because that is so not true. I mean, it takes time after time after time, reaching out, trying again, saying, you know what, okay, I made a mistake, but I'm back. Here I am, and keep doing it, engaging. Come back to the community, because the community is always going to welcome you back, right? Nobody's going to say you can't come back because you relapse. That's never going to happen, ever.
Yeah, growth is not linear, people.
It's absolutely not linear. And, you know, you will be welcome. Whatever community anybody chooses, no matter what happens, you're going to be welcome back today, because we're always here waiting.
Yeah, seek and you shall find. I mean, you just have to have the will to do it, right? I mean, as hard as it is. I mean, I remember how hard it was to even after all the crap that I've been through and overdoses and this and that and whatever I've been through. I mean, I'm not going to rehash it, but you know, even then, I surrendering like everything in my life to get it all back. You know, I had no faith in myself at all at that point. I was just like, just tell me what to do to get my life back. I just want to live life. So I try to just be grateful every day. You know, I wake up and not reaching for a drug or whatever. I mean, it's truly a blessing, and I'm very grateful for it, and grateful for this group, honestly, and the network I've found. You know, there's tons out there. I mean, there's tons of people. I mean, the amount of times I went back to the same detox, they always welcomed me back. I mean, sure that, you know, they're taking money, but at the end of the day, they were empathetical people and understood. It's not like they were going to turn me away and want me to be on the streets and die or whatever. I mean,
there are people out there that want to help.
Yeah,
You.
exactly.
We all want to help.
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there who are willing to help, and who yes, absolutely want to, and you know, are very welcoming. Like I say, anybody on the fence, if you hear this, you know, just give it a shot. Find your community, find your tribe, you know, find your detox, find your rehab, whatever it is that works for you. Could be anything, and just give it a try. No guarantees ever, right? Nothing is guaranteed, but you know, it's worth every minute of the effort. So with that said, hey, how about a little gratitude? And we're almost an hour into this today, which is amazing. Really, another amazing conversation. Blows my mind every time. Really does. Incredible. So who's going? Who's going first? Frankie's going first. I got you.
I'll go first. As always, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for you guys. I love you guys. Grateful for my wonderful and understanding wife. As always, my incredible son, who is just a delicious little thing. And this week I'm grateful for low cut V-necks. They cut this V so low that there's so much chop meat hanging out of here that I am so happy. Like, they cut this V. I didn't know V's can go that low.
Hmm.
Well, I'm really happy with the company that decided to cut these V's so deep because I'm going to get them in everything. Thanks to the
Interesting.
neck
Interesting.
It looks great.
chop meat. Just
I love
sausage
it.
it's coming out all over.
Oh yeah.
Hey, go ahead, Audrey.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for all of you, Frankie. I'm so grateful for your humor. Sausage and what'd you say? Peppers?
Sausage and peppers, chop meat coming
Sausage and chop meat. Oh yeah, I'm grateful for this group. Again, I'm excited to come onto this podcast and we talk about things that should be talked about and it helps us and hopefully it'll help some other people. Grateful for the weather, even though it was rainy today, it was like there was a nice breeze like my windows are open, there's a breeze, it's like a little rainy and the birds were chirping this morning. That was very nice. Grateful for my partner and my family and just to be here.
Very cool. John, you are up.
Sure. Grateful for this group, this podcast, this wonderful conversation. I'm grateful for my family, my wife, for making the choice to ask for help and accept it. One of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, whether I was forced into it or not, whatever. Well, I don't even remember the circumstances. I'm just grateful it happened and that I'm here today to partake in this community. And I hope that anybody out there that, is struggling or is on the fence or doesn't know what to do, just keep your head up and have some faith and reach out, if you don't know, reach out to us. We'll try to help in any way we can. I mean, I'm more than happy to help.
We probably can.
Yeah. I think that I've heard so many times, I got this, I could do it on my own, and I said that, but I know I couldn't. At this point, I know I couldn't have done it on my own. So I'm grateful for all the help that I've got to get where I am or to be in the position I am today. So with that said, I'm grateful for another day alive and sober on this planet. And that's it. Thanks.
Thanks, John. Thanks, all of you. Another amazing conversation. I am so grateful to just be able to do this. I don't even, it's just bizarre to me sometimes to think that we're sitting here having these conversations that to me, like you guys said, probably 10, 15 years ago, were unimaginable to me. Absolutely unimaginable that I would even care, to be honest with you, that I would even care about doing something like this. Although, I mean, I have helped people in other ways, but not like this. This is very, very different. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity and to know all, to be welcomed into your lives, into your recovery. I don't know where I'd be without you. I really don't. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So we'll say good night to all those wonderful people out there who we hope are listening. And the truth is, yeah, I mean, if somebody sends us a note, I mean, we can certainly steer them to meetings in their town. I mean, I do that for Intergroup at night sometimes, take the phone service. And people call from anywhere and say, hey, I'm in, I'm in Iowa, I'm in Ames, Iowa. Can you find me a meeting? And usually we can do that, and say, hey, here's the Intergroup number, make this phone call, that we can do for people. We can at least give you a phone number, steer you in the right direction, hopefully, if you are. And it's just a phone call, or it's even a note through the YouTube channel. I don't know how that would be too anonymous, but we'll sort it out. I mean, we'll figure it out, one way or another. But yeah, we can't help. We can't help in small ways. So don't hesitate. So that is that. And I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks all.
Yeah.
Later, y'all.